Welcome. Yes, we can take you to the edge of the desert. Then we will... Until then, may...
The beast has grown too powerful. We can no longer contain it through mortal means. There was once an empire that embraced corruption. They studied it, mastered it, and became the greatest civilization the world has ever known. But it led to their destruction. Our allies will continue the pursuit of the beast, but we shall undertake a different search. We must go to the ruins of the Vaal Empire, in search of a weapon against the coming cataclysm. Utsal is close. Be careful. The Vaal heavily...
I will tell your tale, Jingak. Return some.
We strayed from the route marked on our map, driven further afield. Tonight, for reasons I cannot fathom, we have been granted a brief reprieve. Our hunters halted at the edge of this marsh, unwilling to pursue. Through my spyglass, I see nothing ahead. The waters lie still, and the muddy banks between seem clear. Yet my nerves burn with the unmistakable sense of being watched. There is no one.
This humidity. Spirit, how I miss the cool breath of the mountains.
through the app. The Rathin's always a step ahead.
What have you learned?
Speak up! The thrill of the hunt! Lightning strikes twice!
How can I...
Not wrong with a new approach.
Quickly.
A new day dawns. storm! The hunt is on! Through the art.
Fancy seeing you here. There it is. Stay on it. Don't let it escape. There's our target. Strike fast. Come on now. Let's end this.
And that's that. They make for a curious couple.
How can I?
Take this! Straight through the air!
What kind of stunt was that, traversing the marsh? Have to be smart. I can buy what equipment you find, or sell you what others have unearthed before we ship it back to Kingsmarch. If you...
Pragmatism's...
Hello there. I'm Elva Valai. Sorry about Oswald. He can be a bit, rough. In any case, we can always use another pair of hands around here. This little excursion here represents my lifelong ambition. It's not just about finding treasure. I intend to call my group the Reliquarians. A bit ostentatious, but the best things should be. A shame I couldn't have founded it a few decades. Thanks to the Templars, relics from a dozen different cultures found their way to that little island over the centuries. So you're looking for a device the Vaal intended to use against the Cataclysm? Ah. So that's why you came here. If you want to explore it, you'll have to find a way to drain. It's hard to guess what the device inside the temple might be. I do know that it was commissioned by Queen Etziri's Thaumaturge. As best I could translate, they claimed using it might mean abandoning all they had built. They seemed to view it as a last resort, a way to save their legacy if all else failed. How do I even begin to describe the last Queen of the Vaal? She left a tremendous mark on history. She was, and Vaal writings speak of her as the most beautiful woman in the era, but also the most dangerous. Sometimes while I'm looting a temple, I remember that everything we find once belonged to a living, breathing person. By their final days, the Vaal were a deeply tiered empire based on brutal competition. He was second only to Queen Etziri herself. Uzal was the seat of his power, and ancient writings claim he undertook a vast array of strange... Something tells me you're the exploring type. We've got that in common. Still, if you're feeling adventurous, there's fortunes to be made out there in the wilds. I'm especially interested in all... That hooded fellow over there, he's a friend... Oh well, I'm not one to judge the company you choose to keep. Oswald's gonna lose it. Oswald's a grim sort, isn't he? He's always injury this, death that. He always makes sure we have the proper supplies and checks his list for everything 4 or 5 times before we make a move. He also invented what I call the Oswald. You'd be positively amazed at the elaborate traps he sets. I've heard of the beast. Everyone has. If someone is truly trying to raise another, then they must be the grandest of fools. Until next time.
She's friendly like. A rare quality this.
Somewhere in this region there were sophisticated canals and water. We must hope that the mechanisms are still functioning, despite their age. It is the only way to reverse the drowning. It is strange to return to this place of my divine youth and see it so aged and forgotten. When I was here, the Val were the height of civilization. They had their problems like any other people, but I thought I could free them from the moral hazard. While we are here, I would like to discover whether this ruination...
Sybil Launcelane. They survived. 2. Died of old age shortly after arriving. Rather traumatizing, that one. Eh? The ziggurat beneath us was once the temple of the sun god. One of the oldest built in the city of Utsal's religious district. It was a good thing for us, because this lake is the only reason it hasn't been ransacked by other I log everything here, so I can catalogue the thousands of ways to die the jungle offers. If you can, be sure to write some sort of final entry detailing how you die. I don't mean to be overly fatalistic, but the amateurs coming from Kingsmarch are accomplishing nothing but feeding the chimerals. The most I can do, I don't go out there if I can help it. I'm the unluckiest man alive. Yet, I'm the wealthiest in this camp. You have to be... Ah, Kingsmarch. So called by the Kalgurans. They're newcomers to Rayclast. About 20, for some reason, they're very interested in Varl artifacts. We ship most of what we find back to Kingsmarch, and they pay... Watch your step.
You're the one who waded to the undead in the marsh, eh? Truly, you need a guide. Not all tribes in this region are so friendly. Apus is my grandson. Can you believe that? Apus inherited my son's rowdy spirit. Maybe it's a family curse. We have always... One day, he'll be a great man, just like his father. Until then...
She's sharp, that one. Could come in useful.
The jungle ruins are full of deadly creatures, you know. Quadrillas can tear a man apart, and life is plenty here, thriving. Everything here can kill you. A snake you can't see, a strange plant. That's the wisdom of my tribe. And since these any place you want to know about. Yes?